Why, hello there, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another video. Before I do start this video off, I do have one question for you guys. You guys hold your coffee cups like this? Or is it just me, like, who uses this, like, entire thing almost as a knuckle protector for 3 fingers? Sometimes I do this, too. How do you guys hold it? Like this? This? Or like this? Or am I just nuts? You guys say in the comments below. Anyway, are you guys ready for a blast from your past for most of you? Or a simple childhood memory flashback to try and find these things. Today I will be comparing 3 consoles, 2 of them being a Nintendo product, and what? Hang on. I have my shoes off. I should be able to count higher than 2. Why am I saying 3? 1 Sony product. All 3 of these I've played through without my childhood, and I'm going to be comparing these 3 to all of each other, and I'm going to be comparing the Sony product to another Sony product that my friend bought. I don't have physical proof of it, but I'm going to just compare it off of memory-wise, and there'll be images up on the screen for you guys. But before I do start this, please hit the subscribe button if you guys want to join this channel and join the... I have no fucking clue what insanity this is. As you guys can see, I'm doing random videos today because it's fun. I enjoy it and life's great. Don't forget to hit the like button if you guys want to see more of this. Wow, why do I feel like I'm doing the outro? No, something's wrong here. Anyway, don't forget to comment down below on what one of these 3 you guys like. So let's start off into the mixture. No, I'm not comparing my coffee. I just got thirsty. So today, as the beginning, let me move you guys down real quick. Give me like 3 seconds. No, I'm not comparing my keyboard either. Don't judge me. It's a nice key. Oh god! Don't fall, camera. Come on. You're $1,000. Don't do that. Don't worry about the cable mess down there either. I'll just move my body in to kind of block it. Today we will be starting with the Nintendo DS Lite, not the original DS, but the DS Lite. So as we start off, I'm gonna actually, let's click over to the tabs, and we're gonna start with the techno stuff, and then I'll talk about it a little more. So let's start with what we got. So there's only 1 CPU core. The clock speed for the CPU is 67 megahertz. The CPU type is an ARM, which maybe it's just me, but I don't think this bad boy with all this muscle, yeah, I know I'm weak, could fit in this. I'm just saying, if my arm is what's controlling this, it's screwed. I mean, it is my right hand, so it's a little stronger than the left hand because I'm right hand dominant. Not because I do anything else. Don't you guys get that weird freaking thought? Also, don't worry about the bite marks. Tried to hide softball from dog. Didn't go well. That motherfucker was determined. Bastard. Anyway, the RAM memory is 4 megabytes. The screen size is 3.25 inches for the first one, so I'm guessing they're talking about the bottom one, which there's not really much of a difference between 2. The screen resolution is 256 by 192. There's a shit ton of colors you can choose from. As if I scroll up here, you got pink, you got blue, you got red, you got black, you got white. I got black, I got white. What you want? I got black, I got red. What you want? Anyway, the touch display is a yes. There is, I wish I had my stylus to show you guys, but sadly I don't. Pro tip, if you guys did lose your stylus, use the eraser end of an unsharpened pencil. It actually works, and I've tried this. It's an ingenious method of mine. There is the second display up top, which, as you can see, second display screen size is 3.0 inches versus 3.25. The second display resolution is the same as the first, so it's still that same 256 by 192. There's a camera built in. I don't know where, and I can't remember where to save my damn life. Main camera resolution is 0.3 megapixels. There is a second camera somewhere as well. I have no fucking clue where. The height of this is 2.91 inches. The width is 5.24. Depth is 0.85, and the weight's about 7.62 ounces. Not much. But anyway, let's get out of this whole technical issue. So frickin' throw that off to the side. We're going to talk about what I personally had with this. So as this device, immediately, these things last for a while. I haven't charged this in a solid couple years. So I don't even know if this is going to turn on when I do it, but let's start. So first off, you have the built-in speakers up here. You have your D-pad over here, so you're up, down, left, right. You have your X, A, Y, and B, which are very mushy buttons, which is one thing I never liked. I liked a little more of a stiff button. I swear this is sounding worse and worse as it goes through my skull. What the hell? You have your bumpers up top, which are still a little clicky, not too bad. You have your power button on the side, which is right here, and a bunch of other things. So let's see if this thing even turns on. Son of a gun. And there's the beginning of the Nintendo every time. So I have Mario Kart in here. You get met with this original stuff. You get met with your original screen. Ironically, the date is exactly correct. Like on the dot. 10:33 a.m. at 8/5. So, damn. And it's 2021. It knows. And this battery is apparently full too. Wow. What are the odds? Anyway, one immediately thing that you notice is not the broken part up here. Normally, if it's not broken, you'll hear a click. And there is a built-in mic too here. So you get met with this. So you have your standard DS game, which would go up top. And then if I remove this, you have your little game packs that you can put down here, which will display down here. So let's put that on. But originally you had everything here. One thing, you have your DS download play, which is always a fun one to play with friends, family. Or if you were just sitting around someone else, you'd go into Picto Chat here. And this is like the original Snapchat to me. You'd hop into a chat room with some friends, draw things around here like so, and then you hit the send button. And then you could talk. It was easy as that. But as I was saying, let's get back into this here. It was a very nice thing. It was the original Snapchat to me. I enjoyed it. So let's start about the things that I do like. I like the size of it. It's very nice. Fits in a pocket. Size of the average smartphone with a little bit thickerness. I'll compare this to the S10 Plus. So that is the thickness of my phone compared to the DS. With the case, of course. And if you compare the length, of course, my phone's much longer and has better screen resolution, even though I've dropped it 20 times. God damn you. Anyway, one immediately disliked thing that I hated about this, and a lot of people have probably had this happen in their childhood, is... So the power button and the volume button are both sliders. Very easy to move. So like I said, if you were sitting here and you accidentally moved your thumb or like moved your hand to like, I don't know, adjust it, you could easily slide the volume up, which was a shitty thing late at night if you didn't have headphones. You'd turn the volume up just a little, and when you go to throw it under your bed, it'd go to max, and it'd be like, and it just like, you knew you were caught at that rate. Or if you were playing in the middle of the night, and it wasn't really much of a bad thing, as you might have hit the power button and slipped it off when you were trying to hide it under your pillow. But no, the volume was always an issue late at night if you were playing and whatnot. So I'd give this a rating of like I want to say a 9 out of 10 for everything. But no, it's very nice, very compact, very easy, charges well, charging battery lasts for a goddamn while. Which is unlike any, like this thing outlasts my smartphone battery, and I haven't even charged, like, I charge my smartphone practically once a day. I haven't charged this in like 3 years. 4, 5, 6, I don't know. But that's the immediately thing that I like about this. How easy it is. Compact. Like if I was sitting out in the car, I could play while not while driving. Who the hell would do that? I could play while sitting in the back seat. And most people would call me insane for not getting car sickness. Never did. It was amazing. My body is surprisingly resistant to a lot of things. I ate an entire package. Well, I am eating an entire box of 240 individually wrapped Sour Patch Kids, and my body still hasn't killed me yet for it. But, yeah, so that's my immediately, I'd give this a solid 9 out of 10. Besides the whole power button and the volume button, that's the only thing I disliked about this. Other than that, the memories I got from this were phenomenal. So let's move out of the DS, and let's go to the 2DS. Which, immediately, there is a big difference. One's foldable, the other one's not. I mean, technically, this is foldable. But then again, I don't think it's going to work if you fold it. So let's compare size already. So the 2DS is more circular compared to the DS, where the DS is more square. It's more of a firm corner edge. So if you punched yourself with it, it hurt. I mean, if I punched you with this too, it hurt. But as you can see, there's immediately a couple differences you can see. The screens are much different sizes. One's smaller on the bottom, one's larger on the top. There is a joystick now, as you can see, on the 2DS. The start and select button are much larger immediately. And the power button, it's not here, it's here. And there's a home button too. So let's move out of this and move over to here. So let's start with the specs first. So let me just click right over to here. So let's start with the Nintendo 2DS specs. So our dimensions are 144 by 127 by 20 millimeters. You then have the weight of 260 grams. Another dual core ARM 11, which still, how did they fit 11 of these bad boys in there? Like, come on, how do you fit that? Like, this whole ARM is what's controlling this. Like, what the hell? It's an MP core. Graphics are DPM PICA 200 GPU, which that thing's got to be tiny. RAM's about 128 megabytes. FC RAM, 6 megabytes. VRAM. The upper screen is a 3.53-inch LCD 400 by 240. As you can see, there is a much big difference between the screens, which is one thing I hated. Is like your map would be up here, but you'd be on this tiny screen. Like, come on, game. Give me a bigger screen. It's not like you don't have all this unused room and you could have just moved these a little closer to the edge. The lower screen is a 3.02 inch, so there's about a 0.51 inch difference. It's same, different resolution for the bottom one, I believe. It's 320 by 240, but it's a touchscreen. This is touchscreen, this is not. The storage is 1 gigabyte internal. There is an SD card slot on the side. I have 4 gigabytes in there. Get that back in there. There is a camera. There is 1 user facing and 2 non-user facing, unless you're playing face. Crap, I can't remember what the game is. I think it's face array. No, it's something. I'll remember it. The connectivity. This can connect to Wi-Fi. Via the what's it called? The infrared port. I believe it's somewhere up here. Other features is the 1300 mAh battery, which this still lasts quite some time. Let's see if this sucker even turns on. Is it? I don't know. It probably is. Oh yeah, there it is. Big difference is the I don't know how well this is gonna work for you guys. The menu is much larger. Face Raiders! That was the name of the game I was using. That's the one that where you take a picture of someone, it turns them into a face, and you'd fire around and just... You had to use the camera to aim. But there is a big difference. There's the activity log versus PictoChat, networking. There is still the download DS Play, which is a nice thing. Swap Note, which is very similar. Then you have your game. One bonus about this was... the volume button's not as protruding, so I don't accidentally hit it while sitting in bed. The power button, same thing. I don't really hit it because it's a button. It's not a slider. I might accidentally hit the home button once in a while. This is about half battery and hasn't been charged in years as well. Another thing I liked were the bumpers. They were a little clickier. And, whoops, I activated the camera. These are a lot more clicky. So that was nice. The start button and the select button, they were a lot clickier on the 2DS, or the DS, not the 2DS. Where here they're mushy. They're like very mushy, which is another thing I disliked. But the screen-wise was one of the main things I hate, which is why my personal rating in this dropped down to an 8.5 out of 10. Nice thing about the button, the power button is you hit it. Sadly, you have to hit that again, where the other one was just a quick shut off. But no, that was a nice thing. This is huge compared to it. A nice thing about this was if you had DS games and 3DS games, and you didn't have either, console, you could buy one of these, and not only does it play DS games, it plays 3DS games, as shown by me having Scribblenauts. Which, to compare the DS consoles, there's one difference. The little cartridges, actually. I'm not comparing the consoles. The 3DS cartridge is a little bit, not even a little bit larger, but it's just got that little nudge there. Like, that's practically the difference of both of these, and it may seem a little bit smaller. That's like the weird thing. And I'm sorry if that was not in focus. Right. Another cool thing is, I don't know if it's sitting around me. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. I'll figure it out when I kick the damn thing. Ah, here it is. If anyone has ever wanted to see what the inside of one of these cartridges look like, I managed to find this in the bathroom. It was shattered. This is actually what the inside of a, here, let me, DS cartridge looks like. Just a little itty bitty thing. Nintendo branded with the Windows logo in the bottom left, surprisingly. Not really, it's probably something circuit-wise. But no, this is what one of them looks like, broken. Because as you can see right here, there's a bunch of cracks and stuff. Very interesting find. Alright, now that we have the Nintendo fanboy stuff, since I'm semi a Nintendo fanboy, I'm a hoarder on the games there. Let's move over to the Sony. Which, yeah, there is the white background down here. I do have the black background sitting in the office, or not the office, my room. What happened was there's a little tab here that sticks in, and on the black one it broke, so I think I'm going to try and plastic weld me a new one, or 3D print myself a new one if I ever get a 3D printer. So we are now out of the DS fanboy stuff, and we're going into the, PSP and Sony stuff. So we are comparing the PSP now to those. So let's get over to the features and the specifications. So immediately, as you can tell, there is a big difference between the 2DS, the DS, and the Sony. Big difference is the size. These are much larger, but this is much wider. Because if I set this up here, I got a solid 2-finger width here. And I got a solid 2-finger width as well, for the distance between them. This is much wider, where these are much taller as well. So let's get these out of the way. So let's start with the specifications. It's a wide screen, of course, as you can see. There's a 4.3, it's backlit 4.3 inch, 10.9 centimeters if you do not do American measurements. It's a TFT LCD monitor with a 16 by 9 aspect ratio with a 480 by 272 resolution. Unlike the DS's, where the CPU was the ARM, this is an MIPS R4000 based 333 megahertz CPU, where the graphics subsystem running at 166 megahertz on a 512-bit bus with 2 megabytes of DRAM, rendering 664 million pixels per second and 35 million polygons per second. So maybe it could render the amount of polygons on Dimitrescu's ass. Who knows? Let's skip I'll go through the graphics engine. So the graphics engine supporting directional 16 or 32-bit color, lighting, clipping, environment projection, and texture mapping. Fogging, alpha blending, depth, and stencil tests. Vertex blending for morphing style effects, and dithering. Their media processor is using another 2 megabytes of DRAM. The 3D graphics processing using NURBS. If you don't know what NURBS is, it is a non-uniform rational B-splines, as well as conventional polygon rendering. There's a USB 2.0 port, which is, I believe, up here. The memory stick port, which one thing I made fun about my friend, and I'll talk about this in a couple seconds. So the memory stick port's right here. It's an easy access port. Where my friend, he bought the PS Vita, which there'll be an image up on the screen now. He bought the PS Vita, which was $155, I believe he paid on eBay for it. I don't remember. And he had to buy a 32 gigabyte memory stick. And he paid like $70 for that. Now, surprisingly, he's got a bunch of games that he wants to buy for it physically. Now, I own like 6, 7 games for this damn thing. So you'd think, well, he's got to have a decent sized memory stick, right? Wrong. I have a 1 GB memory stick that cost me like $5. And I still have room on it for like the 7 games I play. So that was one thing I made fun of him for. I threw up a meme that says like 100 gigabytes in 2021, but instead of 2021, 100 gigabytes for the PS Vita. It's a guy with like a mini coffee cup sipping it. I'll throw the meme up there. It was on my phone or something. And then I had like 100 megabytes in 1997, but instead I replaced it with the PSP because I have like 7 games on here with like 3 more. Anyway, let's get into here. It's got the Universal Media Disc slot, which, as I like to call these things, back in here, I have Grand Theft Auto Liberty City Stories. I call these mini discs, which are very nice. I've been getting into GTA Liberty City Stories. I've never finished it, and I've never played San Andreas either, but I do want to play it, so I might buy it for myself. It's got a stereo headphone jack down here and Wi-Fi with the LAN port, wireless LAN port up here, and WLAN, as I call it, WLAN. Built-in stereo speakers. There's one down here, one down here, or one down here, one up here, and one over here. So the last one's down here. Rechargeable lithium-ion batteries. So if I pop this bad boy off of my Star Wars white one and had put it on here, there's a 3.6 volt 1200 mAh Sony battery for the PS4, which is very nice. But no, this was the little tab that broke off. It's hang on, let me just move my hand. It's this little tab right here. Let me just put this back on real quick. The weight's 280 grams, which compare this to the DS. This weighs a decent amount more than this. It's very light. Comparing this to the 2DS's weight, they weigh almost the same. And comparing this to a PS, screw it, we'll do my smartphone. My smartphone has more weight to it. And yes, you guys can, well, if I aimed my phone's reflection right, you guys should be able to, yeah, no, I can't aim reflections. All right, and the dimensions, I'm going to start with the American dimensions first. I'll read the British dimensions next, so you guys can hear what they are. For Americans here, it's 6.7 by 2.9 by 0.9 by 0.9 inches. For British people and anyone else who uses the metric system, or whatever the system's called, it is 17 by 7.4 by 2.3 centimeters. Now, as I start this off, I'm going to start talking about what I like now, so back over to me. One thing I liked about this was the size of it was nice for someone who had really long hands. I got a really nice screen size, so it was very nice. Resolution was a little bad. If you got a little bit of water on it, it'd be like that gasoline when water rains on it effect. You'd get like that rainbow effect a little bit if you got like a couple droplets of water over the screen. One thing I liked was the buttons are stiffer on this. Where on like a PS4 controller, they're very mushy, which that's kind of nice to have a mushy button for the controller. Bumpers, much stiffer here because it's solid plastic versus this being a little button below it. The stick is a little stiff. Feels like what's the material? It's not the speaker filament, but it feels like the end of a dog's dry nose. Same with like the PS4, but it feels more like a semi-wet dog nose. This is still the same. It is mushy. They're about the same on the PS4 controller versus this. They feel about the same to me. Your start, your select, your music button, like main stuff down here. Even your PS buttons down here as well. You get your DC 5-volt battery charger, which I have a multi-charger, which charges this, the DS, and the 2DS. It's got all 3 chargers for all 3 attached to one cable, so that's nice. Your headphone jack down here. Your bumpers up here. Your little disc port goes back here. I don't know what's behind here. It's going to be where your memory stick goes, probably. One thing I immediately liked about this, which was unlike the 2DS and the DS, if I was playing in bed, I didn't have to worry about accidentally turning the volume up by sliding my finger down here, because the volume keys are up and down right here. So it was very nice if I wanted to just quickly turn it down or turn it up. Another thing I liked about this was the size and the games I had. I had a bunch of memories. I played GTA, I had The Simpsons, GTA Liberty City Stories, GTA Chinatown, a bunch of others as well that I played memories through and whatnot. But on my ratings, I'd have to give this one a solid 9 or 9.5 because of the flaws I found. The only flaw I really found in this is I wish they made the stick a little bit bigger. Because sometimes I get it where it's like a little drifting or like my finger doesn't quite catch it. If it's like wet, where like if the PS4 controller, if my finger's wet, I really gotta slide it to get it off because it's got like that rivet in the center. So if they made the stick a little more protruding like the buttons are, that would have been very nice. Oh god, the PS4 controller just tried to commit suicide into the trash can. That tells you Xbox is better. But like I was saying, I'd have to give this a solid 9. And another thing I wanted to compare between this and the PS Vita was, so my friend's PS Vita is much larger than this. I believe this is the PSP 1000 version, which there are many. 1000, many versions. I think there's 1000, 2000, and another one. With the PS Vita, I'm not quite sure. One thing I did immediately notice is, as you can see, the PSP logo is down here, where my finger is. And as you can see, it doesn't really take up much of the console, where the PS Vita, on the other hand, which is one thing I very much so hated about it, was the Vita logo's like a solid finger width taking up, like a solid chunk of the screen's gone because of it. Like they couldn't have done, like how the Sony's up here, instead of like being up here to minus it down a little, and the PSP with all the buttons are down here. Where the PS Vita, it's just like it's huge and it takes up like a solid chunk of the screen. Like they could have subtracted the font down a little more and made it a little nicer and a little bigger of a screen, which would have been a lot freaking cooler. Another thing I did like was, as you can see, the bottom's not the same as like how the top is. Like both bumpers are there. It's got a little bit of a bumper here, which is kind of nice. I mean, it was a little bit of a pain because the way I play is like this, with 3 knuckles grip behind the back, or I have it like this. Yeah, it's about the same. I don't really play much different. But yeah, that was a nice thing about this. So I'd give this a solid 9, 9.5 out of 10. I mean, besides the resolution and everything, this was a very nice console for playing with stuff. So here, let me get you guys back up to me. Hello there, beautiful people. And like I said, the 2DS, the DS, and the PSP were very much so a millennial and oh wow, Jesus, Gen Z type consoles. They were very phenomenal to play on, very easy to carry around. Like I said, I don't think I could fit this in my pocket. I might be able to, but that was one thing I also hated, is like it wasn't really travel size, where the other two, oops, almost kicked it off. Other two were like smartphone size. You could easily fit them in a man's pocket, a woman's purse, a woman's pocket. I don't know, because I know women's pockets can semi-fit a smartphone in it. I don't know why the pocket sizes are so different. Ah, yeah, like I said, here's the PS Vita. The solid, like a solid chunk of the screen is gone because of it. But I'll throw the PS Vita up here, while I was comparing. Whatever. That doesn't matter. But like I was saying, there is a bunch of differences between all 3 of those consoles, but they're all an amazing thing. I do want to also do another comparison video. I do have a PS2 and a PS1 sitting behind me, with a PS4 sitting next to me. I might do a comparison between those, and I might do a comparison between the PS4 and the Xbox 360. So if you guys want me to, don't forget to leave a comment down below saying so, or a like, or a subscription. That'll let me know you guys want to do more, or join this channel and see what craziness I have. Anyway, before I also say that, don't forget to leave a comment down below what games you guys played on the DS's, 2DS, 3DS, any of those consoles, PSP, PS Vita. I'd love to hear it. I'm actually quite an interesting person with technology. I'm fixing a bunch of stuff. If I rotate just ever so slightly, I have a Wii U that I'm fixing. I need a security screwdriver for, though. I got 3 other computers I'm fixing, and I've got 3 other actual laptops there, and I've got like a Windows 98 laptop where I swear I dropped that damn thing. My father was sitting in the basement below me watching TV downstairs. He thought something exploded up here, and I almost killed my own toes. I swear they turned purple that day when I dropped that sucker. Not a fun experience. They were like bomb-proof laptops back then. But that's sadly gonna have to do it for the end of this episode. So if you guys haven't, hit that like button, smash the subscribe button so hard that you almost put a hole through. Well, don't really do that, but smash that subscribe button. Don't forget to comment down below, like I said, for everything. Or if you guys want to see me do other comparisons, go a little bit more in depth into the DS or the 2DS. If you guys want gameplay from those, I can do that as well. But sadly, that's going to have to do it for this episode. And all these 3 beautiful consoles, the ring on my hand, the 3 scars that'll probably stay there for a decent amount of time. We'll see all you great people. 2DS tried to kill my smartphone. Doesn't like Samsung, apparently. We'll see all you guys in the next episode. Bye-bye.